Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. Hi, babies. Okay, so we're just gonna have a little chat today. We are more than likely gonna be resuming to the periodic table this week, unless the Most High has something else that He wants to go over. But in the meantime, we are going to have a little chat. There is no right or wrong to worship, right? Now, obviously, if you're out here killing people and, lying on people and stealing and doing just evil things, you know that that's not good. Which, to some people's defense, and definitely according to the Creator, some people are doing their job when they're raising hell. We'll get to that. But now, if you've come up in a family that is religious or conscious or spiritual in any way, right? And that particular thing doesn't work for you, it's okay to take another direction. It's okay to not follow the footsteps of people and into situations that you can see clearly didn't work out for those that you're connected to, right? We always talk about being connected to people via the purpose and via your bloodline, right? But sometimes our purpose has nothing to do with the people that we grew up with. And we have to understand that. That's important because when the Creator created us, we weren't made, with just our families in mind, right? When the Creator created us, He created our bloodlines and millions of other bloodlines, right? And at some point in space and time, we're going to connect with one another for one reason or the other. Only the Creator know why He created us at certain times, right? My parents didn't have to be born in the 70s. They didn't have to have me when they had me, right? So everything is appointed. Like, we know that. And you have to understand that your understanding of the spiritual world is not limited to that. Okay? It's not limited. You making the conscious decision to enlighten yourself, right, is one, based on the plan of the Creator, and two, your ability to interpret and understand what it is that the Creator is even suggesting, right? It's not right or wrong to pick one over the other. If you've grown up in a family that's Muslim and you feel you want to be Christian, go ahead. If you feel you're, a Jew and you feel like you want to, and excuse me, I'm playing the devil's advocate because yes, I am Muslim. However, I do understand that not everything resonates with everyone. And ultimately, all of this information is going to lead back to the same source, is my point. So there is no right or wrong here. What's wrong is to deny the existence of God. You can't go wrong when you are in agreement with the Creator. Doesn't matter the route you take there, whether you want to take the train, a bus, you want to walk, you want to get on a bicycle, you want to fly, okay? But just sitting still is not the way to go, right? Not seeking the proof, if you will. Obviously, if you are someone who is already spiritually connected, then you would know that this is not really a thing for you, right? This is mainly, and yeah, it could be, but To a certain extent. This is mainly a conversation for people who are struggling with where they stand spiritually. There is no right or wrong way. You can do whatever feels good to your spirit as long as you're not being used by the underworld, and as long as you're not operating out of your lower self. You should be in alignment with what the Creator placed you here for. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I have an understanding that, yes, every book tells you that their way is the correct way, right? So if I'm like, this book says you can't, subscribe to one, particular religion, every book is telling you that you can't leave their institution, that religion is the way to go, right? So I'm speaking in terms of spiritually and how you interpret what it is that you feel God is telling you to do, right? And again, if you are coming up in a particular environment where you see a group of people are practicing something and it doesn't resonate with you, you can investigate that on your own and see where it leads you, or you can opt out to see what else may work for you because it's not working for the people you know. The choice is yours, right? But movement in the spirit is definitely needed. We can't just sit still and be stuck, or you will get left behind. This doesn't mean you have to have spiritual gifts. This doesn't mean that you have to have been, selected for some big, tour around the world to spread the gospel. This doesn't mean any of that. Every region has people that are called and few are chosen, right? We know that. So you don't have to be like afraid of being picked, right? If that's your concern. The overall thing is to get on the boat. It doesn't really matter who's the captain, right? Just get on the boat. Because a lot of the things that are coming, you're going to need God. You're not going to survive without it. And unfortunately, the understanding that we have of the Creator is not enough. Especially if you have to be like in between. Like, my understanding of all of the books is my understanding, right? But then when it comes to saying, okay, I pick this religion over the other, it's impossible because I can see the similarities, I can see the differences, I can see the contradictions, I can see the things where the Creator's like, you don't even need to know that, right? But that's just me. And then I have my own relationship with God. So once you build your relationship with God, you'll know what it is you need to do and what you don't need to do. That keeps coming up because it's fundamental to everything. Your spiritual growth is the very thing that needs to be worked on. If you're not working on your spiritual self, then you're going to have a really hard time, especially with the way things are about to be going. But now moving ahead, we have these people who are going to be doing their job to play the role of these demons. And with all these portals that have been open within the last 3 years or so, and just everything that's been going on in the cosmos, in the 3D, just everywhere, right? We're moving into a different time, and these energies are now gaining momentum. They can now shapeshift and come to us in physical form. So this is beyond you being able to know certain things, right? You have to be able to do certain things now, right? We're beyond the knowledge level. Like, we're at the level where we need to start applying the things that we now know, and start practicing. Okay. Your ability to understand the Creator, again, is going to determine the level that God is going to place you on, and wherever it is he feels he wants you to be, right? We all have these assignments, these rankings, all of these different things, and everything is instrumental to the next. One job is not greater than the other. So that's why it doesn't matter who's the captain. Just get on the boat. Like, we have this thing where we are like, oh, I'm going to be Muslim and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if that is where the Creator is taking you, go, please. Now is the time. But if it's not working for you, then you need to understand, first of all, that some energies and entities may be attached to you by your bloodline, your environment, however it may come, right? You need to first see if you're being stopped to walk a certain path, right? So that's the first step. You need to understand if the Creator just doesn't feel this is the time for you to step. Maybe he doesn't want you to. Maybe he wants your spirit in limbo, right? All of those things are factors to how you're going to be able to move in the physical, and how your angels are also operating on your behalf, because a lot of us are going to need to have certain things in the spirit in order to act certain things out. And you can't skip levels. Like, if you haven't gone through those phases of, I don't know what to choose, the Creator's not going to tell you what to choose. You understand? Like, you need to be able to understand level 1 before you could get to level 5 and 10. Right? And we talk about that. We can't skip steps. This spirituality thing is real. And if you want to really walk a path with God, if you really want to understand, you have to be okay with losing everything that you're familiar with. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with not knowing what to do or where to go sometimes. And you have to be okay with being like a sitting duck, if you will. For lack of better terms, right? Now, my understanding of all of this that I'm doing is something that has begun as a healing process for me. But then I realized that in the midst of me recording and, just having these spiritual conversations and just highlighting, because I'm not, a doctor or anything like that. I have a psychology degree. I have a background that will allot me the ability to understand certain things from a spiritual and just an overall conceptualization. Like, I conceptualize a lot of things when it comes to social affairs, right? So it's easier for me to make the connection between the spiritual and the physical because of my life experience and the things that I just know. And just my bloodline, right? Your bloodline is going to open certain doors for you, right? So you might have to finish some things off, or you might have to start some things up, depending on the cycles and the ancestors and the assignment. So before we go, I just want to, leave on this note, like, you don't have to put God in a box. You don't have to confine yourself to one ideation or belief. Whatever you feel your spirit is leading you to do. I mean, look, you have some people like Tina Turner. She died a Buddhist, right? Here's some black woman from America being a Buddhist, right? This is a religion from how many miles away from where she's from, and the environment and her culture and her upbringing. Culture is upbringing some way. Well, her upbringing, then the American culture, and then her being in an environment other than where she's geographically from. And that's just one example. As we mature and learn, it'll gravitate us to other ideas. So you don't have to be stunted. Don't allow your growth to be stunted is the overall thing. Learn. Right? Go wherever God is telling you to go, and make sure that it is God taking you there. Okay? And be confident and patient. But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all drink your water, eat y'all fruit and y'all vegetables, and sip it on your own tea, because why? It's free. And I hope y'all are getting your rest, okay? And it's time. These babies is back at school. I know y'all lit. Love y'all. Peace.